Alright, what is good? It's your boy Shimmy back with another video. Listen, the streets asked me for some Souleater, so today we've got some Souleater. No long talks, lot the in. Yes you, yes your grandmother. Now let's get into it. We start with this monster going and taking out this girl. Then it eats her soul. It's still hungry though. It goes to eat another shorty, but these two pull up aura farming. The girl says, "Yo Soul, that's him. Let's go pack him up. Say no more." Soul transforms into a Scythe and they get ready. The monster jumps in the air, but Maka parries all his attacks, jumps on his head, then goes and cuts the monster in two. Not gonna lie, this anime has better animation than your favorite anime. Now, the monster's soul comes down, and this is the 99th Kishin egg soul. So they just need a witch's soul to turn soul into a death sight. Now, they get the witch's low and pull up on her crib. But the witch ain't gonna get taken out like that. She uses Halloween cannon and blasts them out her crib. After 3 different tries, Soul acts like he's about to join her side, but he gets the drop on her and Maka cuts her in two. So now they finally can turn him into a death sight. Soul eats her soul, but turns out she was actually a cat, so now they have to restart. Love, bro. We meet another character, Blackstar, who also messed up his 100th soul collection. So they both have to go to Remedial class. They have to go find Sid, a teacher who apparently went crazy and turned into a zombie on some Walking Dead shit. They pull up on his grave to get clues. They're like, "Wake up, bitch ass. We not trying to get expelled." And we just see a smile and he grabs Maka. He goes to stab her, but Soul comes in the way. "Good evening, class. Let's get started on this lesson." And the man picks up his grave and starts swinging it. He hits Blackstar in the air, then hits him to the ground. Blackstar ain't going out like that though. He kicks him and throws a shuriken, but he just does another power bomb. Maka dodges last minute and kicks him in the face. Soul says, "Let's do it, twin." So they do Soul Resonance. Witch Hunter, but she literally slips and falls. Like, alright. Now, since they're out of options, Blackstar makes a star with his chains and he waits for Sid to try to attack him. Sid tries to get him, but this was a trap and he just ties him up with Maka. Now, since they captured him, they have to find the man who zombified Sid, which turns out to be Frankenstein, the strongest meister in the city. They go to his crib and he comes out on a chair and falls over. He says, "Aye, shall we begin our experiment?" Blackstar goes in, but he deals with Blackstar quick, and we learn he was Maka's pop's first wielder. Now it's Maka's turn. She goes in, but the man just blasts her to the ground with his wavelength. Blackstar says, "You ain't the only can do that shit," and he does Blackstar big wave, but that ain't enough to do anything to Frankenstein. He mashes wavelength so it don't work. Stein says, "Alright, it's my turn. No little baby." He speed blitzes and just fries the man's brain. What is wrong with this guy? Trying to give him CTE. After seeing this, Maka and Soul have to avenge their homie, so they do Soul Resonance again and do Witch Hunt, but this Frankenstein guy is blocking it with his bare hands. He says, "This shit is strong, but not strong enough to deal with me," and he just destroys it. He's about to go end them, but he just passed them on their head and says, "Y'all pass. You did good out here for some little youths." Now it's the next day and Blackstar and Soul are posted outside waiting for Death the Kid. Kid says, "Yo, y'all here to show me around? Do I look like a butler to you?" But obviously they want to scrap the new so Death the Kid says, "Alright, say no more," and these two girls transform into switches. Damn, this is every YN's dream. They both go in and he blocks their attacks, and then he pops Soul straight in the chest. So Soul says, "Alright, let me transform," but Blackstar can't even pick him up because they're not on the same wavelength. They keep trying to fight him, but it gets to a point where Death the Kid tells him, "Remember, you asked for this, hoes." He does Soul Resonance and the pistol gal transform into super switches and he blasts them, knocking them out bad. Now it's nighttime and we see some girl on a broom and she says, "Go eat, you're the ultimate form of weapon and meister." We cut to this guy in the church and all these people say, "Yo, Lil you, what the hell are you doing here? Ain't this past your bedtime?" The witch does a spell and it hits the kid's mind, and then he just starts laughing over and over. This is how my homeboy was when his girl said she only has guy friends. All the people are like, "Yo, we're about to smoke you," but the kid says, "Ragnarok's about to eat you," and his sword just screams. At the same time, Maka finds another criminal. Hold on, is that my homegirl? He tries to fight them, but he gets one-shotted. Then Maka's spider senses go off. She's seeing hella souls and 2 non-human souls in that building. Soul says, "Can we not just let them guys die?" Fair, but they hop on the Ducati and pull up. They go in and they just see this kid there alone. And we learn the kid and Ragnarok are meister and weapon. The kid just starts screaming and this black shit just comes out and starts punching him. The hell is that? He goes in attacking, but Maka blocks it and goes to cut him. But he don't get cut and he starts bleeding black. Medusa says, "Stop playing games, lil you, kill them." He says, "Bet," and they do Scream Resonance and they shoot an attack, but Maka dodges. He goes in and clashes, but the screaming is actually injuring Soul. He keeps attacking and he eventually corners Maka. She's about to die, but Soul Soul comes out and takes the attack instead. Crona goes to finish them, but a Scythe just comes out and stabs her, and Stein kicks the door open. The Scythe is Maka's pops? Medusa says, you know what? This is a good fight for Crona. Let's see how strong he really is. Crona goes straight at them, but Stein blocks, throws him on the ground, and does Soul Force on him. He was gonna hit him again, but then he gets hit by the black blood. Stein goes in dodging everything, and he does another Soul Force, sending him outside, but one of the black balls hits him. To make it worse, the man is surrounded. But this is the #1 Meister we're talking about. He blocks all of them and makes a giant soul aura thing. Crona and Ragnarok look back at him and he's gone. Stein comes from above, kicks him, and does a double Soul Force. With that, Crona's body starts rejecting the black blood and it's looking grim for him, but Medusa does Soul Protect Release and they finally see her. She shoots her Vecto arrows at Stein, but Stein does Soul Resonance Witch Hunter and cuts them all. With that, she grabs Crona and says, I really would like to stay, but I got shit I gotta get to, and she cuts. With that, they get Soul to the hospital and the operation was successful, but now he has some black blood mixed with his blood. And the doctor who's helping him is the witch Medusa? Nah man, how the hell did she get in here? Who let this happen? It's the next day and we cut to the witch's mass, which is a gathering of all the witches. Yes, all the lightskins you know will be attending to. Medusa's walking, but this witch stops her. I hate you, ho. I seen you steal some shit. What you trying to do to DWA? Medusa tells her, don't worry about what I got going on. Then she puts her hand in her mouth. What type of freak shit is she on? Back at school, Soul is telling Medusa he has this weird dream where he's in a suit and there's some random dancing demon. Bro actually has no rhythm. This is all going according to Medusa's plan though. So she says, you're blessed. Now the two witches from earlier corner Medusa and they say, we're here to kill you, ho. And they release their Soul Protect. You wanna kill me? But I planned something already. She put a snake in the one girl's body and it eats her. You know I got some in you too, right? But then Stein and Maka show up, so the frog witch leaves. Now Medusa forces the frog girl to release this guy who's in prison and now they're running, but they get surrounded. He says, I'm not going back to jail, and they stab him, but he's still good. So they're like, alright, let's burn him, but he's still good. We learn the man is actually immortal, and they just take all the people after them out. After that, they go link up with Medusa. She tells them, listen, there's a certain weapon and Meister I need you to deal with. Alright, say no more, I got you. Now we cut to the Mandem in London with Central C and them, and the magic eye guy appears right in front of them. His soul has human, witch, and something else in it too, but he says, I found you. Blackstar says, let's f this nigga up quick. Tsubaki, enchanted sword mode. He says soul resonant to go straight at him. The wolf shoots up ice, but Tsubaki stops it with her shadow. He goes in and does shadow star, but he actually falls to the ground. Bro is not ready to use enchanted sword mode. The wolf is like, who's next? But Soul already stabbed the man through the chest. He says, I'm always careless, but then his wound just closes up again. Alright lil you, let me show you my true form, and he transforms into a werewolf. What the hell? Is this in Twilight? Jacob? Maki and Soul go to fight, but she can't even hold Soul anymore because of the black blood. The werewolf goes in and just starts comboing Maki. He not done though, he does magic eye cannon, but he hits himself with ice by accident. What the hell? Now it's not looking good for them, but she tells Soul, Moi Po, transform again. She goes in and hits him, but he just keeps hitting her away. Soul goes to the little demon in his head and says, alright, put me on twin, I need some more power. The demon says, come with me gang, madness awaits you. And they do soul resonance, but Soul just starts yelling. He's starting to devour her soul. The last minute he saves himself from changing. They do witch hunter again. She locks in and cuts him, but the cut was too shallow and she jumps off the bridge after him. Last minute Soul grabs her and Blackstar cuts the wolf's arm off. Now, somehow they survived that, but Maka coughs up black blood. Nah man, no way she's infected now too. We cut to Death the Kid and he's taking out all these demons on the ship, but someone else is there. It's Crona, and Ragnarok's eating all the souls there too. Kid's not gonna allow this though. He goes in and starts unloading the switch on Crona and blasts him in the face, but Crona survives and uses Scream to cut the ship in two. He flies away, but Death the Kid chases him on a skateboard, but then he gets distracted by the clouds and Crona gets away. Like love, bro. Back in the school, Maka goes to see the nurse and tells her what's going on with the black blood, and she gives her these next yerkes to take. Then Stein shows up. He says, I never heard of this medicine before. Where'd you get that from? Oh, it's my own blend. Don't even worry about it. Oh, word? I don't know. You just look familiar. You sure you're not a witch? I'm just playing. But listen, Stein's onto her. So he sends Sid to go check check out her crib. Sid and Mira get in, and there's just experiments everywhere. He says, yeah, she's 100% a witch. He reads her diary, but then he turns around and these balls are there and they just blow up. Yeah, this Medusa girl's always one step ahead. Now it's the next day and it's a festival, and everyone's all dressed up. Lord Death comes in and says, I'm glad all of you could show up. At the same time, Medusa's mandem have entered Death City, but Stein pulls up on her and says, yo, fine shit, let's go dance. Yo, my homie been gone a minute. Is he good? Huh? Why would I know about your homie? He went to your lab not too long ago. My lab? You must be drunk or something. Nah, I'm sober, ho. You're after the Kishin, I lie. You know about the Kishin sleeping beneath DWA? If Death wasn't here, you'd be dead. A word? So kill me then. She tells him, the world has to progress. That's how nature is. Why don't you join me? And she's about to kiss him. I can't lie, this would've got me. I mean, my homeboy. But then Sid comes back. He says, get everyone out of this bitch. And Medusa jumps out the window and gets free to put them all in a barrier. Sid uses forced burial and gets the main cast out the barrier so they can save DWMA. With that, Medusa and the Mandem go underground to go revive the Kishin. We learn Asura, the first Kishin, was actually a part of Death's original squad, but he's on some Courage the Cowardly Dog type shit. He was scared of everything, so the man started eating human souls, and he ate his weapon too. Then he just became the source of all madness. Now the Mandem all go underground too, and Medusa appears. She shoots a vector arrow straight at them, but they all go running and dodging, and Kid gets through. Blackstar uses enchanted sword mode and cuts through her vectors, and he gets through too. Medusa's not allowing Maka though. She's sending all her arrows at her, but somehow she runs through it. Medusa goes to hit her, but Stein says, ho, did you forget about me? And he hits her bad. They aura farm at each other, but Stein is smart. He threaded her feet to the ground when he blasted her. He disappears and hits her again into a wall. Then he goes in attacking her, but she says, nah, you're going the wrong way, and she uses vector arrow to hit him away. He goes in to hit her again, but she uses vector storm and hits him again. She's actually versatile as hell. We move to Blackstar and he's about to go fight Chrono, but Maka says, nah, this is my kill. He allows her so he can catch up to Magic Eye and Eureka. Now it's officially the rematch, and Maka goes in and gives Chrono a dirty punch to the face, and she's just punching her bad, damn. Then she kicks her to the ground. Maka says, your soul's weak. Chrono not taking that disrespect, so they flex their souls. Chrono does blood slice and bloody needle. Maka dodges, but they do scream resonance, and he shoots at Maka. She blocks and goes into attack, but Chrono blocks her shit easy. Since they're out of options, they gotta do the old reliable. They do soul resonance. Ragnarok says, alright, let's show them Wagwan, and they do scream resonance. Everybody starts screaming, but the black blood is starting to flow in Maka too. Maka uses 6 Hunter, letter U, and swings, but Chrono blocks and says, hold on, is that all you got? It's my turn. He does scream Y and starts hitting Soul over and over. Chrono hits her to the ground and he's just walking her down. Bye, little nigga. Now the demon inside says, Soul, come take my power. You know you can't beat that thing with reason. Nah, I can't. Maka might get affected. Listen, we're not gonna get anywhere like this, so I brought someone here. And it's Maka? What the hell is going on? He puts on some music and they start dancing. Back in real life, Maka blocks the demon sword with her arm and starts smiling, and she flings him in the ceiling. She gets on her staff and says, that went flying. Chrono stabs her, but Shorty's just laughing. She grabs Chrono and starts hitting him in the wall and stepping on him. At the same time, Soul is about to get consumed by the madness. Back to Stein, he says, what the hell are you gonna do with your you after you revive the Kishin? Oh, him? I'm throwing him away, obviously. You want him for an experiment or something? You can have him. Now, inside Chrono's mind, he's talking to his shadow in this circle. I can't lie, his childhood was actually crazy. Then a young Maka appears and destroys the line. With that, Chrono's body is rejecting the black blood again outside. Then last minute, Soul reaches in and grabs Maka out of the madness. Maka wakes up and she puts Soul down, walks to Chrono and gives him a hug. Now I understand your wavelength, and they decide to be friends. With that, they continue running to catch up to Blackstar and the rest of them. We cut to Death the Kid, and he instantly feels the Kishin's wavelength. He felt like he was on O-Block for a second. Then we learn Lord Death took Ashura's skin off and sealed him in his own skin? Damn, because that's the only thing that can contain him. Then a blast goes right by him and it blows up, hitting him. It's the wolf. Kid shoots, but that don't work on him since he's immortal. So he says, F it. He does soul resonance and shoots the death cannon. But the wolf is still good after the extended clip with the green beam. He's not really chasing him though. He's just trying to make sure Kid doesn't get past here. So Blackstar shows up and he's like, bitch, you're not allowed to be in my way. Blackstar goes in and he starts stabbing at him. Kid's thinking though, he's like, why is he dodging his attacks but not not mine, and he bags it. The real magic eye is just doing a projection spell. We move to the real magic eye, and him and Eureka go to the Kishin's place, and they open the door. They walk in and they're already starting to see shit. Then the Kishin appears and he grabs Eureka and bites her face off, but she's just hallucinating. Magic Eye says, "You good, shorty?" But her face turns into the Kishin and she stabs him and bites his face off. Yeah, see, if this was me, I would have went home already. They snap out of it, and in real life they were trying to end themselves. This is the Kishin's madness. He's got the strongest madness in history, aside from King Von, of course. Back to Stein and Medusa. He's trying to fight her, but she leaves no opening, so he says, "Aight, let me lock in." He goes in straight at her, but she blocks and stabs him in the chest. She goes to end him, but he says, "I just want to dismantle things," and he goes straight through all her vector arrows and does soul force, straight in the stomach. She not done though. She goes to cut his neck, but her whole body freezes. The man sewed her whole body in that time? Yeah, he's him. Now back to Kid. He goes to stop them from reviving the Kishin, but he starts hallucinating too. He snaps out of it, and Blackstar goes into enchanted sword mode, but Eureka throws more tadpole bombs and stabs the Kishin. Last minute though, Blackstar goes in and cuts the syringe, but in reality, Blackstar actually cut the Kishin's sack. Nah man, he was tripping the whole time. So now the Kishin is reviving. Medusa says, "Too bad, we win." Stein just screams and completely cuts Shorty in two, but she's just smiling and Stein's laughing because the demon's finally back. Kid tries unloading the switch on the Kishin bag, but it's not doing anything. Then something starts forming from the bag, and it's the Kishin's body. Blackstar goes in and does Blackstar Big Wave, but that does nothing to it. He tries to go in again, but it just waves his hand and the man goes flying. Then it stretches its skin and one taps Kid too. What the hell did they actually release? This thing is too strong. With that, it wraps itself up in its skin and jumps in the sky. Then something else comes out and it's Death Seals. They hold him in place. Then the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lord Death, shows up, and him and the Kishin have an aura farm off. Long time no see, lil. What's with that mask? Oh, I'm just trying something new. Well, it's time to die again. And he uses Shinigami Chop and slaps him in the ground. The Kishin just laughs and shoots his skin, but Death hits him with shockwaves. The man is pissed. The Kishin blasts him with these beams and Death is blocking it. Death goes straight at him, but he gets knocked away. He says, "You're not going anywhere," and he starts crushing him in the ground. Asura's not going out like this. He's been locked up for way too long. He screams and breaks it. Then he goes straight at him and they clash in the air. Death tries to block, but he goes right through him. Last minute, Death tries to grab him, but his powers just bounce back because he's out of the area he can fight. Asura says, "See you later, old ass," and he leaves. With that, Death goes and gathers all the death sites in DWMA because the Kishin's back. But basically, since King Von's back, the madness will spread all across the world, corrupting people. And to make matters worse, the dormant witches will start to revive too. Also, Death decides to let Crona enroll in DWMA. Baymonting, I would not let him enroll. Put him in jail. At the same time though, Stein is not in good condition because the madness, and he starts hallucinating seeing Medusa. It's really how it be when you fumble a bad bitch. Now Maka, Soul, and Chrono go to Low Village where everyone's an engineer. This guy shows up and says, "Are you looking for the Berserker Golem? Follow me, I'll show you." Yeah, I don't trust this guy. Why is he helping them so easily? They keep following him, but they're actually following him for way too long. He says, "Listen, we just want to live in peace and quiet," and the ground starts to shake. Then the golem appears and it yells. Soul transforms, but Maka's like, "Something ain't right here. You should have no soul," but there's a soul in there. The guy goes forward and says, "I've been waiting for this my whole life. I swapped memories with my kids and lived 30 lives just for this moment. It's time for you to say goodbye." He don't need a Meister, the golem can use him. The man is, "Hold on, Denji?" He hits the ground and Maka dodges. "I got 800 years of bloodlust," and he starts swinging at her over and over. He keeps swinging and Maka gets hit to the wall. Ragnarok says, "Shit, we could help you, but we want something." Alright, 50 bad bitches on the yacht. Okay, deal. And Chrono comes in and blocks and hits the golem away. Maka and Chrono go tag team him, but then something comes out of the golem and she can't move. With that, the golem hits them away. So it's like, "What the hell happened to you, shorty?" She still can't move. And then he just sees spider webs. Hold on, Tobey Maguire? Then spiders start to cover the golem and the witch Arachne appears. I can't lie, waiting 800 years for her, I get it. But we learn she's the reason there's even human weapons. She says, "I've been watching all of you all along through my spiders." Crona Crona goes to attack, but she blocks and backhands him. Then Kiriko just kicks him in the air. He goes to end her with a chainsaw kick, but Justin comes in and uses Saint Cross knife, hitting him instead. Yo, who the hell are you, boy? But Justin's listening to that new cartel in his headphones. He's not listening to this guy. And we learn he's one of the death Scythes. Kiriko goes in attacking, but Justin changes into handcuffs, cuffs him, and gives him a rude headbutt. Arachne says, alright, let's just retreat for now. So they retreat and Justin saves the kids. She walks back and she's walking on a red carpet and some old man in a limo picks her up. Damn, all these guys are waiting for her? She goes back to her castle and she has all the mandem cheering for her. Now she's trying to make this magic tool that will make people lose their will and let the madness take over. And they hire Mifune to guard the place that's making it. Nah man, why is he here? But Sid gets a drop on the location easy and takes out the guards there. This death Scythe comes with him and uses clairvoyance to make a whole map of the building. She tells him, yo, up there is a magic tool, but watch out, there's a witch's soul there, an old ass soul there, and a powerful one. Then the alarm just goes off. He's like, damn, did they catch on to me already? But it's actually Blackstar. He came in to get his get back from Maka. But Mifune shows up right in front of him. Why are you here again? And he pulls his sword out. He goes straight at him. He dodges and hits him, but Mifune blocks. He runs on top of the sword, stops his chains, but Shorty uses smoke bomb. Then Blackstar goes into enchanted sword mode. They go in and he uses Shadow Star, but Mifune's blocking everything and he starts hitting him with all his swords. What the actual hell? The man used 5 swords, 6 swords, 12 swords, all the way to 24 swords, and Blackstar falls. The old says, yo Mifune, kill them kids, they're our enemy. Or do you not care about Angela? He do care, so he says, my bad gang, I gotta do what I gotta do. He's about to swing, but someone snipes at the old man, and then the facility blows up. Mifune tells Blackstar, listen, y'all are strong, but y'all ain't ready to romp with me yet. And he gives him a cure for Maka, and he disappears. Now, it's the next day, and we cut to this little girl, and she's crying. She says, there was a snake, and it ate me head first. The mom's like, hold on, are you really my daughter? And the girl says, ah, you got me. It's actually Medusa. She took over the little girl's body. We cut to the Arachnophobia headquarters, and she has a visitor. Medusa walks in. Arachne says, haven't you learned your lesson? You're lucky you survived Stein and the death Scythe. Why are you here, ho? You know someone backdoored me 800 years ago. And instantly she gets surrounded by the mandem. But Medusa says, listen, 4 is a crowd. I just want to make sure you're blessed. Now I'ma take my leave. She goes to Eureka and says, I gotta get something from Death City. We move to Chrono and she's having a good day with all the mandem, and then Medusa shows up behind her. Why are you here? Cause I'm worried about you. Really? Yeah, I need a spy, and that's gonna be you. Go find the secret vault for me. He tries looking, but he almost gets caught, so he just goes back in his room. Medusa says, fine, I'll give you a different assignment. Take this listening device and put it in Dr. Stein's lab. So he goes to his lab to meet with Mary, and while she's gone, he puts the listening device in Mary's coffee and she drinks it. So now Stein is gonna be tempted more and more by the madness. Now we have a problem. Arachnophobia found the location of the brew, and if they get that, everybody will be cooked, and they're gonna do all they can to get it. So Stein's gotta get the students ready to fight, so they try to do a group soul resonance, but Blackstar ain't waiting for them. They punch and argue with each other, but eventually the mandem get it right. We cut back to Arachnophobia, and Mosquito says, hey, we gotta get the brew for spider shit no matter what. Let's do this. The brew is located on this island where there's a magic field that repels people away. Now everyone's on the boat, about to get on the island, and Arachnophobia is already there. Sid and the mandem are walking and they just get jumped by them. We move to Kiriko and he's waiting for someone to pull up on him. Then he just hears some loud ass bass and the man Justin comes down with an avalanche. Kiriko's pissed. He says, get the hell down here, boy. We move to Stein and the kids, and him and Mary go into the magic zone. Now Sid lines up a shot on Mifune. He shoots, but the man blocks and goes straight for him. Scythe hits him away, turns around and starts unloading the switch. Outside, Maka says, something's going on in there. So the kids decide to go in and see Wagwan. Now Sid's still trying to get away from Mifune, and the man stabs him with his sword, but somehow he gets away again. Inside the barrier, Maka and them are like, what the hell is going on? Are we tripping again? But what they're seeing is actually the past. Back outside, my dog Kilik, Ox, and Kim are dealing with the enemies, but there's actually way too much of them. They do resonance link and take these guys out, but the golem goes into attack. Ox and Kilik ain't letting shit happen to her, so they do thunder combination and take the golem out bad. I can't lie, if they weren't in the same year as Blackstar and them, they would be top dogs. And with that, Kim does a signal flare telling everybody to retreat. Back to Mifune, he's looking for Sid, but he don't know he's walking into their trap. And the girl blows up the area, but he dodges it. Sid comes from the ground and grabs him, and Shorty hits him with this big ass thing of cement. Sid goes in, gets him in the arm, but Mifune stabs him with his hand. This guy's actually broken. Sid's like, twin, you ain't ever thought about switching sides? Like, whatever you need, we got you. But Mifune ain't here to chat. Then they see the signal flare going up, so Sid tells him, I ain't even gotta fight anymore, gang. I'm out of here. And Mifune, being the real he is, says, alright, just get out of here. At the same time, the madness starts to take over Stein more and more. This deadass how it be dating a light skin. Don't do it. Then the kids come back and link up with Stein. They tell him to go outside the barrier because they don't have much time left in here. And they're just gonna go look for the magic tool instead. They go running and this little old man comes out and stares at them. He says, I wonder why I ain't seen none of you guys in here. Death the kid says, all that talking. Hand over the magic tool. You ain't got that much time left in here, old ass nigga. Mosquito says, my body ain't gonna last too long, a lie? Yeah, let me go 100 years in the past. And he starts mumbling, then his body starts changing and gets all big. Why is his legs so short though? But now he's got 10 minutes left in here too. Then someone walks in front of them and it's Albarn. Kid wants to follow him, but Blackstar goes in attacking Mosquito. Maka goes in too, but Mosquito hits them away. Blackstar hits him in the air and Maka hits him down, but bro is unscathed. He says, 100 years ago, this is when my body was the hardest. Pause. Soul knows they ain't winning this, so he goes and talks to Little Demon and he says, broski, I need your help matching wavelengths with my dogs. Back outside, Mosquito says, you little youths don't even know the power of the brew. Once Arachnophobia gets it, the world is ours. Blackstar ain't trying to hear that. He uses enchanted sword mode and goes in attacking, but he blasts them all away. Then Mosquito turns into a ball, rolls into them, and he hits them with a rude lariat to the ground. Kid's guns are like, get up. And the little demon inside Soul says, let's start the party, gang. So Soul walks through the door and gets his suit on and he smiles. We go back to Justin versus Giriko and he jumps in the air, hits him with a kick, but Justin blocks and uses law-abiding silver gun. Now, why is he actually a dog in the Lord's name? Giriko comes behind him, but Justin cuts him. Then a bunch of snowmen show up? What is bro's power? When could he do this? But he actually used that to get away. He wanted no smoke. Back to Soul, he gets on the piano and plays. Everyone's like, what the hell is that sound? But he's just going straight Beethoven. The men are loving it. They do a three-way resonance link. Mosquito goes running at them and Blackstar blocks both attacks, hits him in the face. Death the Kid unloads the switch and makes him get open so Blackstar can hit him again. Now they're just comboing him bad and the little demon's just loving it. Then Blackstar says, alright, let me get mines, and he does soul resonance and the black strings grab Mosquito, word to Shikamaru, and he cuts the man's arms. Now it's Kid's turn. He busts out the double super switch and fires it straight at bro. And now it's time for the star gal herself, Maka. She says soul resonance and uses genie hunt to cut the man in two, and she aura farms after. But before he actually died, the man took his head off to escape. Like, of course he has to cheat, bro. But with that, the man decided to leave because they don't have enough time to stay in the magic storm. We move to Arachnophobia's HQ and Mosquito brings her the brew. She says, let me see it. But he says, after 800 years in that field, the brew is just a piece of junk. Arachne's like, don't worry about it, because guess what? The whole world thinks we have the brew. We can still use that to our advantage. Now we cut to Medusa, and Eureka brought her the real brew? Nah, man, this girl's crazy. And Arachne don't even suspect that her sister backdoored her. She says, just watch, I'm coming for everyone and everything. Alright, that's all for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Yes, Souleater is finished. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 because I can get that out maybe in like 2 weeks, a month, something like that, but I can get that out soon. Just let me know. And yeah, I don't know if this is a face reveal for some of y'all, but this is me. This is Shimmy in the flesh. We just did the giveaway. I don't know if you guys missed that. We also streamed. So yeah, we did have a winner, unfortunately, so we're not gonna be spinning again, but we do have a winner. The El Cinco is going out, just so y'all know, we don't do no scamming over here, okay? We're not Mr. Beast, but we still don't scam. Just for y'all. But yeah, don't worry if you guys didn't win. We will be doing some more giveaways in the future, very, very, very soon. Just cause you know, I'm with y'all. You know, y'all are my dogs and dogettes. I don't know if there's any y'all. You guys are my dogettes too. See? On the second channel, we're probably going to do from season 3. We're gonna get the boys out eventually too. We just got some, you know, all over the place. I kind of took this week off. I had to reset, you know, make sure everything's good, everything's great. I showed a little sneak peek of some clothing that I'm working on. The streets were saying it's good. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Hold on, give me a second. Boom, hold up. Okay, and then just, you see me, if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna give you, sneak peek preview, but it's coming soon, coming very soon. But yeah, also slightly, our channel might be cooked again. We don't know, it's kind of like half cooked right now. Might have to wait 3 months, I don't know. All we can do is just wait and see what happens. You know how it is with me. Every month it's something new, but we're gonna keep making videos regardless. So don't expect any stop to shimmy. Even if they want me to stop, even if they take away monetization, listen, your boy's still gonna be here. And I think, listen, I don't know if y'all want to see me stream. Maybe I'll hop on a stream a little 1-2 times. Like, listen, I'll be real with you guys. I'm not good at rivals, but will I get on there and still smoke some? Isn't me? I will. So if y'all want to see me stream, I'll make a Twitch probably today or tomorrow. This is kind of getting long now, so appreciate y'all boys and girls. Appreciate y'all for supporting me. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep grinding, even if anything gets in my way. Cause listen, I really do this. And I'm gonna catch y'all boys and girls in the next video. Peace.